Today's episode is brought to you by DNA Sports Training. If you or somebody you know wants to take their game to the next level, then hit up DNASportsDenver.com. Visit DNASportsDenver.com and sign up for a training session, buy some merch, or just look up the new episode of the podcast. Anything you need over there. Whether you're an athlete wanting to take your game to the next level, or you're an offensive or defensive lineman wanting to get off the ball quicker, we have something for you over at DNA. Visit DNASportsDenver.com right now and sign up. Yo, yeah.
Yeah. What up, yo?
Improvision, bruh. Improvision. What's going on, dude?
Hey,
Hey, I see what you're wearing. I was gonna wear mine today too.
it's going down, baby.
I took mine over to the office today, bro. We're gonna. That's an office memento right now,
History has been made.
dude.
The
Dude.
Nuggets have
Not only,
locked their space in the history books in
bro,
the NBA.
I think properly mark their space in the history books, man.
That's
And I don't care. I don't give a damn what none of these people are saying. None of these talking heads, bro. Yo, the Nuggets deserve that, man. They worked their ass off all season long, dude. I'm so excited, bro. When I hit you up and said, "Hey, should we record just an episode about the Nuggets?" You know, and then winning the title, and you were down with it, bro. I knew it was the right thing to do right now.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of people out there that kind of been really critical of the Nuggets, not giving them really their love up to this point in the season, but now you can't do anything but respect it. And for all the hate that's went on for the Nuggets, this is one of the most viewed NBA finals in the last 5 years. So,
Go figure, right?
For being hated, everybody likes to watch what they hate. So go
all,
Nuggets.
all these jackasses, dude. We're talking all these jackasses, all these talking heads. Oh man, this is gonna be a boring finals. There's no major media market in it. It's just Denver and it's just Miami and blah blah blah. No Boston, no LA. Yo, I hope you're eating your words because it was one of the most viewed. Game 5 was like the fourth highest viewed NBA finals game. Game 5. And it just topped last year's, which Golden State and Boston, two media market giants, it topped last year's level how many people it reached. It reached like 13.8 million, 13.08 million or something like that is what the thing I read today was, man. And it just goes to show you, dude, like the Nuggets aren't just a national team, bro. They're an international team. They got guys on their team from all over the place, not just Joker, but Jamal's from Canada. You've got Chanchar, I forget where he's from, but he's from Europe. You got guys from all over. You got a kid from Australia on there that plays at the end of the bench. So it's one of those things, man. It's not just here in Denver, and it's not just here nationally, bro. We've got a worldwide brand, and it's just dope to be called the NBA champs for the first time ever.
Yeah, man, and it's way to start it. What a great start to a historic finish that this team's going to have together, because they're not done by any means. They're going to continue to play well, be at the top of the NBA, and consistently compete in the postseason. So I'm excited to see what this team has in store. It's a very young team.
I was just about to say that, dude. They're super freaking young, dude. It's wild how young. I mean, Jokic is 28, and he's like one of the old heads on the team. If you take out, Jeff Green, and as far as the core, he's the oldest in the core. You know what I mean? And it's just wild, wild that it's at this point. MPJ. Say what you will about his shooting effort in the series and whatnot, man. In the playoffs, dude, like he showed up in other ways in that game in Game 5, and it's just incredible, dude. Like you said it, bro. Like we've got a team that as long as they stay healthy, man, they're going to be in the mix for years to come, and it's really really exciting to have that.
Yeah, man. Well, one of the exciting things, and goes for us and Miami, is two teams that are built, through the draft. We're not built.
Yeah.
We're not bought. We're built.
Yeah, that's right.
What I mean? So we have a lot of young talent, and on lengthy contracts up to this point. We have a few free agents that are gonna probably end up leaving. You know how that happens to a championship team, but
Yeah, everyone wants to go rip the championship team apart and get their parts, But yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah, I think the most impactful one up to this point is probably going to be Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
But he deserves to go somewhere and be a starter. I think he's definitely showed that he's capable of being in someone's starting five, and or being a role player off the bench, but it's getting paid pretty hefty. So I think I would love to keep him, obviously, but there are some people that are going to be again on that free agent market at the end of when everything starts opening up. About 8 Nuggets are most likely to be free agents. You got Bruce Brown, Ish Smith, Jeff Green, Thomas Bryant, DeAndre Jordan, Reggie Jackson, Colin Gillespie, and Jack White. And again, of all those names, I think the two that stand out to me are probably going to be Bruce Brown and Jeff Green.
Yeah.
But,
I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Green just went ahead and retired now.
yeah,
He's
definitely.
got. I think it's his second ring, right? 'Cause I think he got one I believe he was on that 2016 Cavalier team with LeBron. I believe I could be wrong, but he's at least got one. DeAndre Jordan now, he's got his ring now. So I can envision a situation where he decides to ride off into the sunset. Some of them other guys that you mentioned, you're right. They didn't get much playing time. They're more developmental. Reggie Jackson came over in that trade and really didn't have a big impact. He really wasn't, everyone thought, or not the trade, but the buyout. Everyone thought when he came over, and even me, I'm guilty of it. I thought like, oh shoot, man, like he's going to be coming off the bench for us and having a giant impact on the game. And that just never came to fruition. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And real quickly, the funniest thing I saw, so I've been looking up everything on social media lately with the Nuggets because it's just so exciting to see, them be champions and just everyone's posting about them from AG freaking rocking with the crowd, walking through the streets. But the funniest one I saw was Thomas Bryant talking about, got a ring now, da 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 da. And the caption was saying that Thomas Bryant asked the Lakers to trade him to the Nuggets, and he wanted to come here, but he was like, yeah, I got a ring. And I was just like, man, that's got to be like the least earned ring ever. Like he came over and did nothing. But I did see like a conspiracy back when the playoffs first started that like Thomas Bryant was taken from the Lakers to kind of weaken him a little bit, and that the Nuggets didn't really want to play him. They just wanted to take him from the Lakers, so the Lakers didn't have him. I'm sure that's I don't know how much I believe of that, but it's not far fetched.
Yeah, no, I mean, you always have those conspiracies going around when it's playoff time and things like that happen. So I wouldn't be surprised. I also don't give into a lot of those because it's just so many of them that float around. But definitely got some things that happen historically and in all sports that go down later in life as question marks.
Dude, I can't tell you. So as you know, I won't go into like the details of who, but as you know, I got to go to the game on Monday, and I can't tell you how freaking wild people were in a good way. Like the city was buzzing even before the game, bro. Like even before the game, like the city was buzzing, dude. Like it was cracking downtown. It was cracking down there by Ball Arena. Brooklyn's had a little thing going on where they had like a patio set up and people were getting it out on the patio. Like it was popping, bro. And the vibe was so positive, dude. It was so good, man. I was like, part of me was like, there's no way we're going to lose this game. You know what I mean? And then I was talking to one of the fellas that I went to the game with, and he went to the game 5 last year for the Avalanche when they won the Stanley Cup. And he was like, I don't want to be all dreadful because they lost game 5. I don't want to be all dreadful, but this is kind of how it felt when the Avalanche were playing game 5. Like it felt really, good like this. And so it was kind of got real eerie when the game started going in the manner it did, and the Nuggets weren't being able to hit shots. Man, there was one point I looked up at the screen, and they were like 53% from the free throw line, like less than 10% from the 3-point line, but yet they were still shooting 48% from the field. And it was wild, man. Like I couldn't believe that we're talking about the Nuggets actually winning a championship based on defense and not their offense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't believe we're still talking about the Nuggets winning a championship after all these years, bro.
It's true.
Like, just thinking of the old McNichols days and the tickets when they were super cheap because the Nuggets weren't great, and as a kid, just kind of running around watching the Nuggets and growing up watching them, and then them getting the better teams as they gradually started getting better throughout the years, getting better players in, and every year thinking, oh, this could be the year where we start to put some pieces together, and then it falls apart. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
for it to finally now
Well, you
really seem like we got our core foundation and we're a good basketball team,
yeah.
the sky's the limit because now we could just build off of that. So
Well, you
that's just
said it
awesome.
right, man. That's what it used to be like all the time. Oh, this could be the year. This can be the year. This might be the year. And fucking, it's the year, dude. Like it actually is the freaking year, and it's incredible, man. And we were talking about, just days of old with the Nuggets. It was cool to see Carmelo Anthony tweet out to the
Yeah.
Nugs, congratulations. And I don't care what anybody says, man. There's a lot of sour people here about Carmelo and the way he left, and forcing his way out of town. But dude, we talked about it last episode of the pod. Without Carmelo, this team doesn't experience this kind of success right now. Like, and I know it's kind of weird, and I'll tie it all together. But you have Melo bring us back from the depths of irrelevancy in his first season, taking us back to the playoffs, and every season that he was here, going to the playoffs, culminating to the team that we traded him away. That we had after we traded him away became the winningest Nuggets team of all time with 57 wins. And then if you think about the fact that the last draft pick we had from the Knicks in his trade was the 2016 draft pick that was Jamal Murray. And so you literally don't have this team if it isn't for Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
And to think about that, man, like, and for his humility to congrat the Nugs and call them champs and just show love, man. That's people got to get over the fact that he got out of here. We got to start embracing him more. And I know there's been conversation about the number 15 and who should have it retired first, and it's hard to argue against Joker because of the championships and the championship and the two MVPs. But there's a fair argument for Carmelo Anthony being able to have that number retired in his name as well.
Yeah, I think there is. I think at the end of the day, Jokic will probably be the guy who gets that. I think he just did a little bit more statistically. He was a little bit more impressive, and if Mallow didn't already have that number retired prior to Jokic, it's kind of hard for him to win that argument. But I'm with you, man. I'm a huge Mallow fan. I honestly feel that Mallow is the reason for the Nuggets that tenure, right? His tenure and the teams that were built around him were kind of the reason for the Nuggets' relevancy again
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
NBA. You started to see people wearing Carmelo jerseys,
Yep.
and Carmelo jersey was him and LeBron came out, right. They were two of the top jerseys sold in the NBA that year. So
Bun B, Lil Wayne, they put his name in rap songs. Like
Yep.
he was all over the place. And like I know that's not everything, but like dude, like we were relevant again.
Yeah, so shouts out to them, but shouts out to these guys this year, man. Again, we have a lot of free agents that we talked about. A lot of them a little bit older. So again, a lot of them are probably nearing that retirement.
Yeah.
But one story of of all of those 8 that I mentioned that is a little bit cooler than the rest to me is Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
33-year-old Reggie Jackson, Colorado native.
Palmer High School?
Yeah, Palm Ridge High School, I believe.
No, just Palmer is before it's Palmer Ridge.
Oh yeah, Palmer, you're right.
Yeah.
And Colorado native, and grew up being a Nuggets fan, and comes back to play for the Nuggets, latter end of his career, and be a part of the team that wins it the first time.
First time ever for your home team.
You know what I mean? For your
that's
home
dude,
team,
that's
bro,
a great
How is that? How is that any more storybook of an ending for any athlete, right? Because growing
Yeah.
up, you're always envisioning playing in the big game.
Yeah.
You know
And to
what I
hang
mean?
around the league as long as he's hung around the league, you know what I mean? Like he's been in the league for a little while, been on some few teams now, and might be coming up on the twilight of his career. It's really hard to say because some of these guys can find a nice role on the bench and play for, 5-6 more years. But you're right, man. Like
But
to be a part of the first ever championship of your hometown team that you grew up loving, is really like the storybook, like best way to go out for me. Like that would be like if we had won the championship in what was it, '08, and Chauncey would have retired right after.
Exactly.
I got an interesting question for you because, like I said, I've been so excited just looking on social media and everybody's excitement. But there was a question on social media that I saw that I want to post to you, and if you can bring back one former Nugget of the past to win to have been on this team to get a ring, who would it have been?
Oh,
Isn't that a hard one, dude?
yes and no, Carmelo.
Okay.
Carmelo, man.
That's-
I just think that for me, again, I was a huge Carmelo Anthony fan.
Yeah.
There's a ton of guys that I think of, older guys, right? The older generation Nuggets that
Yeah.
are deserving of
Yeah.
this.
David Thompson, Alex English, Fat Lever. Like,
Yeah, the guys that bled and
Yeah.
during the days where the Nuggets were really bad, right? Carmelo was here and we were a decent team. We were
Yeah.
a good team. We were a playoff team. So he didn't have to really go through the dog days of
Right.
being a Nugget.
Right.
So there's a lot of guys who, went through that era of Nugget basketball that deserve it. However, I think, for the caliber of player that Carmelo Anthony was in the NBA, those type of guys you really want to see win a championship, right? It's like a
You're
Dan
right.
Marino. It's like
Yeah,
a Dan Marino.
yeah,
If there's
absolutely.
one guy in the NFL that deserves a ring, it's a Dan Marino.
Right.
You'd like a guy like that to have a Super Bowl. So, I think Carmelo is a guy that I would definitely bring back. What about you?
So Carmelo was my first answer on that, and I answered a few more. But like I know he has a ring, but I said it'd have been nice for Chauncey to get one here.
It would have.
It'd have been really cool just for like you were talking about the storybook earlier, just for the story of it though, like Chauncey winning in his hometown. The one that I thought of was Marcus Camby.
Yep, I love me some Marcus Camby. You know who else? And I think is one of the most underrated Nuggets of all time. Andre Miller.
Yep, Andre Miller deserved one. I mean, he put a lot of work in. George Karl loved his ass.
Yeah, and because Andre Miller was the guy who was consistent. He was going to come to work. He was going to give you the same game in and out every day.
It wouldn't have been bad for Coach Carl to be able to come back and get a dub, get a ring. I think that I know he had his beef with Mel. I think that would have been pretty cool. What about AI?
No, that's another guy who's
Like he wasn't like he won't be known for being a Nugget,
no.
and he's even less known for being a Memphis Grizzly. But I think, dude, like that would have been a cool one because that'd have been like our way of stealing an NBA great and making him ours, kind of like the Broncos did with Peyton Manning. In a sense, where he won one Super Bowl here in one in Indianapolis, but it's like that fool's almost like a certified Denver native now. He shows up at Nuggets games. He's like Mr. Bronco this, and even though he spent the best years of his career in Indianapolis, like we could have done that with AI if we'd have been able to just snatch up just a ring, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I think so too, but I still don't know if I would give it to AI just because his tenure with the Nuggets. You know what I mean? Latter end of his career, he's more of a 76er to me in my mind. But
Dude, I remember I think our first playoff run with him. I think we had we played the Spurs in the first round, and we clipped him in the first game, and I was like, yeah, boy, this is how it's going down. Like we're finna win this shit all, and then we didn't win another game. And we got gentlemen swept by the Spurs in one of the years that they're title hunting. It was sad.
Guys like Antonio McDyess, LaFonso Alice. Those guys come back and win one too would be dope. So I don't know.
Mutombo.
There's so many Mutombo. Yeah, there's so many that you could just think of and say, I wish they would be here on this team to get a taste of what a championship feels
Facts.
like. And you know who has a taste of what a championship feels like, and it feels good to have a guy with this kind of winning pedigree on our team?
Who's that?
Christian Brown.
All that boy does is win.
Bro, all he does is win, win, win no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, bro, shout out to him. Shout out to, having a great high school career, having a great college career, and starting what looks to be a great NBA career.
Dude.
This kid is a ball player. He's a hustler. He's making plays on the court that you don't expect him
Nah.
to make. He's playing defense. He's attacking the board. He's getting steals. This guy is a coach's dream, in my opinion. Like, he's gonna go and work, and I'm glad he's a Nugget, bro. I hope they keep him around for a while and let him kind of just transition into, taking things over once we got some guys that are ready to retire out. So
I was talking to my
hyped.
buddy. I was like, man, Christian might be, if not the replacement for like Bruce Brown, maybe Bruce Brown comes back and wants to run it back. But he may be like the replacement for KCP in a couple years because, you're talking about KCP's contract the last time we got together and how he's got like this year, next year, and I think he's got an option for the third year.
Mm-hmm.
So like he might be the future long-term situation at the two guard, It's one of those situations, man, where it's like you're coming into the league as a rookie and you win a title. Like, do you think it's this easy? It's wild, man. Like, and he wasn't just a rookie, bro. That rode the bench and got a title. Like, he's a rookie that was actually getting quality minutes at certain times in the playoffs. He's someone that I think in the Lakers series he got pulled from the game because of lapses on defense, and you wonder how that will do a rookie. A lot of times that's what will break a young athlete, and instead of it breaking him, man, it helped shape him to become the player he was in Game 3 in the finals, and he came up big. And there's an argument that the Nuggets don't win Game 3 if it isn't for Christian Braun. Jokic said so. Jokic said so himself. So, he's one of those ones, man, where if he can be that next player that's a part of the core, dude, the sky's the limit, and it just looks more and more, better for us as long as we can stay healthy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And and you would think a guy like that would automatically come into a team and have respect, right? I don't think it's the same rookie journey for a guy like that because, again, when you've been on so many winning teams, you have the pedigree. You know what it takes because, let's keep it real, you're not a championship team, bro, isn't sloppy. They're not undisciplined.
That's true.
Like, they play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Regardless of what their record is or how consistent they are, how many championships they have won. When you're a championship team, typically you get there for a reason, and that's because you do all the small things right. So a guy like that who's young coming into an NBA team, I think his opinion holds a lot of weight because he knows how to win.
Well, and also you think about it in the same sense that we all know how Michael Malone is about rookies, man. Like, he just doesn't play rookies. Last year he played Bones Highland because he had to. Like, he had no one else to play at that position. What are you going to do? Run Austin Rivers out there for 30 minutes? Run Facu Campazzo out there for like 30, 40 minutes? No, you can't, man. So you had to play Bones Highland. But his willingness to play Christian Braun, and I think it's for the reasons that you mentioned. It's for the discipline, the grit, the defensive desire that Christian Braun possesses. He don't need to get up there and score points. He don't need to be the focal point of the offense or none of that. He's down with doing the dirty work. In Game 3, when the Heat went to that zone defense and they were making it difficult for the Nuggets, and the Nuggets are finding it a hard time to hit a shot, he comes in and starts cutting through the lane on that defense, starts cutting through and finding gaps in that defense because that defense has gaps in it, and that's why they tell you you gotta cut through it. And he did all that, man. He found the gaps, found the passing lanes, got the passes, scored the points, and got the rebounds and the steals that he did. Like, he was really, really gritty, man. And they don't win that game without him. They don't win a championship without him. And I'm super excited to see what this kid has to offer, man, because he, like I said, he very well can be that diamond in the rough find that we've seemed to be continuing to get all the time. If you consider Jokic being the 41st pick in the draft and to becoming arguably the best offensive big man ever to play the game, and now he's improving on his defense year over end, and he's better on defense at the end of the year than he was at the beginning of the year. And what does that do if he improves his defense? Like, he's a different dude, man, and it's exciting.
Yeah. I don't want to get too far ahead of this next year, but
Fuck it, get ahead.
Where do you think the Nuggets need to attack in the offseason. Obviously, if we lose a guy like Bruce Brown, we got to replace that piece.
Yeah.
You know, I think again Christian could definitely step into that role, but I think we still have to add some depth to maybe help him out and replacing that role. So obviously that's a area of need if we lose Bruce Brown. But is there any other particular area that you can think of that you think we should attack like right off the bat?
Probably if we lose Bruce, probably that replacement for Bruce. I think that'll be the biggest, thing that we need. We need that energy. We need that just ball player, that dog coming off the bench, and he was valuable for us in Game 4 with, with the same way, that Christian Brown was like. I think if we lose him, then yeah, we have to replace that. Find that energy, find that quick offense, that grit, that not afraid to put your nose in there on defense, and I think that's probably the key. I don't think we need to add to the core or change this or change that or like look to like add all these crazy pieces. I think we're good, man. Like honestly, it feels a lot like what maybe Golden State was feeling back when they first started their run. And I'm not trying to say that that's what it is, like we're going to be Golden State or nothing like that. But what I am saying is that we have that kind of ability with in terms of how young our core is and how we're all locked up.
No, for sure. They were definitely built.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't bought, they were built. They had a young Steph Curry, a young Klay Thompson, Draymond. Like
Yeah,
all
they
these
lucked out
guys-
with Draymond in the second round.
Yeah, all these guys were built, not bought. So we are exactly like them. That's a great analogy, a great comparison because we are built to go on a run like them. I don't know if we'll be as successful as them, or if we'll be more successful than them. But I definitely know that we have the depth and we have the bench and the contracts, team friendly contracts in place to definitely make a run for several years to where we don't have to worry about losing one piece and necessarily going to replace that piece right away
Right.
as a necessity. So we do have a little bit of comfortability in that.
And we're
fact.
doing some things. I mean, like say for instance, Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan, they retire. That opens up cap space. That opens up room for us to do things, obviously. But you see, before Game 4, the Nuggets were active in the trade market. They traded away a 2029 pick for a first round and second round in 2024 from the Oklahoma City Thunder. So adding draft ammunition to go make a move for somebody if you need to make a move for somebody, or adding draft ammunition so that you can move up in the draft, or find a guy in the draft. It seems like their scouting department does a really good job at finding talent, later in the draft, and identifying it and developing it. You can use them picks to develop more potential replacements for Bruce Brown, for KCP, for Michael Porter Jr., whoever, you know what I mean? Whoever's not here in the next 3 or 4 years, right? It's important to have the pieces to be able to do that. And with the way the salary cap's going to be based and how it's making it harder on having these supermax guys and like 3 or 4 of them on your roster, it's gonna be important to have young rookie contracts that you can kind of maneuver around and still do things and still be competitive with Jokic and Murray in their prime.
Yeah, no, for sure. And good luck to Bruce. Regardless of what happens with him, as it stands right now, I just don't know if the Nuggets could really afford to pay his contract that he deserves. And I think he definitely deserves to test the market and go out there and get more than what we're paying him right now.
Dude, NBA money's stupid.
It is.
NBA money is stupid, and so they were saying that the kid from Miami, Duncan Robinson, he signed with Miami last year for 5 years, $90 million.
Yeah,
And he's not, in my opinion, it's no disrespect to him, but he's not the same player Bruce Brown is.
Nah, but he is a shooter. Those shooters
Shooters
rare
get
to come
paid.
by, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Those shooters are rare to come by.
Like to run his numbers against Browns in terms of 3-point percentage. So.
Yeah, Brown definitely is looking to land somewhere nice. There's a couple places that have already been kind of tossed around. Some mention Utah. Utah would be a nice fit for him to end up with.
They got a lot of freaking money, dude.
Yeah, with them guys there. Another place if Kyrie leaves Dallas, that might be a nice,
That would be a good
that
spot.
might need to be a plug for him. Indiana, and then they also mentioned Phoenix.
I could see Phoenix. I just wouldn't want to go anywhere where, you know,
have to play him.
he's at a point where I don't think he's at that point where he needs to just chase the bag, right? He's got his ring now, and we kind of talked about that last week. But he's got his ring now, so there's not that desire to have to chase a ring. But he might be wired in a way that he wants to chase rings, right? Yeah. So I don't necessarily think I think if he had the option, he's not just going to go bag over situation. I think the situation is going to matter. And I was encouraged by him saying he wants to be here, but that was also right after winning a championship with these guys. And money talks a lot of times, and the Nuggets are kind of limited with what they can do, and those other teams aren't. Yeah. Especially if Phoenix clears Chris Paul's contract off their books. Like, dude, that's go play with KD and Devin Booker.
Yeah, that's dangerous too. But at the same time, if it's not about the money, then why go anywhere else but stay here in Denver?
Yeah, especially with what we just talked about, that window. Their window is freaking.
Sign a 1-year contract
or just opt in.
Yeah, and play one more year with us, and let's get another one, and then go get a bigger bag.
It'd be the ideal situation. So they were saying, I forget who I was hearing this by, but so the most money the Nuggets can offer him is just 20% more than what he got this year. So what can happen is if he opted out of his contract, and the Nuggets offered him, and they can give him 20% more than I think the $7 or $8 million that he's supposed to get, right? So not much more compared to when another team can give him a big deal, right? It's just the way they have rules with the way their contracts are done in the NBA with different, times of service, so to speak. So if it's really not about the money, I think the right thing to do for the Nugs is, tell them opt out. We'll give you a 1-year deal as much as we can give you, and let's run it back one more time and then see after that. And who knows, it might be. The thing is, he gambled on himself this year. He took the deal with the Nuggets, which might have not been the biggest deal he could have got, but it was a situation he wanted to be in. People forget that. People forget that he sought out Michael Malone and told him, this is where I want to be because you guys are trying to do something special here, Yeah, and sure. I think that
says a lot.
It does. And I think it also should say a lot going forward to this situation now, whereas maybe he doesn't opt out. Or maybe he does and he signs another 1-year deal with us and takes another gamble on himself. That NBA money's good money, man. As long as you don't get hurt, that money's good money, guaranteed money. So we'll see.
Even with this championship, do you think people start to consider Denver as the team to go through to get to the championship in the West?
It's funny. They were kind of talking about that a little bit on ESPN the other day, but they still wasn't.
They're not giving it to us.
They still ain't giving the Nuggets they do, man. Like Tim Legler was like dogging the fact of who we beat, never mind the fact that, Phoenix was supposed to be the team coming out the West with their new addition. And, the Lakers were the next best thing since sliced bread, since the All-Star break.
And that's what's messed up, right? It's all about we didn't beat no teams. But if either of those teams that you just mentioned would have won and went to the championship, again, they would have been hyping them up.
Bro,
huge. The Lakers.
We didn't beat no teams, but we beat the teams they've been fucking hyping to win the thing all playoff long since the playoffs started. Go look back and how many of these cats picked Phoenix or picked Los Angeles to win the whole damn thing, bro. We didn't beat nobody, but these teams were the teams they were picking. And if they weren't the teams they were picking, they beat the teams they were picking in terms of Memphis and Golden State. You know what I mean? So, move out of here with that shit, man. Don't disrespect the Nuggets no more. It's not like Miami hasn't been in the finals 2 of the last 4 years. Yeah. It's not like they ain't beat the number 1 seed and number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. Go on with that bullshit, man. Yeah, that's disrespectful.
Well, and it's not like the Nuggets haven't been playoff teams either, right? We've faced some injury, and we're consistently a good team. We're not a bad team, even with the injuries that we've faced.
So, no, absolutely, man.
It's time to give the respect, but if they don't want to give the respect will be taken, just like it was
Like it was Monday night, boy.
You know what I mean? It's great, man, to see like some of the celebrations, like you mentioned it earlier. Gordon out in the streets. You know, his publicist and everybody's telling him like,
Get in the fucking
yeah,
car.
after that shooting went down, right, which was non-related to the Nuggets. I just want to be very clear on that.
Yeah.
After that went down, though, he's probably like, see, this is why.
That's why we told you to get back in the car.
You can't be out there doing what you did. I understand you're on cloud nine right now, and you're just, you know, embracing the people.
He was a man of the people, bro.
Bro, you got to be smarter than that.
Bro, you know what touched my heart the most? We were talking about the celebrations. What touched my heart the most, and I hung around, dude. I sat there and I didn't leave the stadium until after they did the trophy presentation, and then after the Nuggets started like leaving the floor. But what touched my heart the most, dude, is every time I looked up at the screen, there was a Nuggets player, you know, bringing their kid on stage with them, or trying to bring their son or their daughter on stage with them. How Jokic is with his daughter and his wife and his brothers, man. Like the sense of family isn't just, you know, with this team itself, but it's everyone surrounded by this team. Like the love that's being shown. I seen KCP telling us, "Come on, boy, get over here!" Like he's trying to get his son up there in the front with him. It was so cool, man, seeing these fathers.
Did you shed a tear?
Oh, dude, I cried like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I know that.
Dude,
minute
it
happened,
was so fucking cool. I'm getting
there
emotional right now, dude.
Yeah, I was crying, and Jada's laughing at me. DJ's walking up trying to hug me,
Dude.
And, bro, it was crazy.
I was hugging strangers, dude. I was high-fiving strangers, like just random people, and you know, it was incredible, bro.
I don't know about. Well, it's the same for you, right? Because for me, right, I'm not a huge Avs fan. Like, I don't really like hockey too much. I'm an Avs fan. I support them, and you know, if they're in it, then we're rocking with the Avs.
Yeah,
you know what I
absolutely.
mean. But I don't follow them like crazy. You know what I mean. But I'm a basketball guy and I'm a football guy.
Yeah.
And for me, being a Nuggets fan and a Raiders fan, this is the first time that I've seen any of my teams since I've been alive win a championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let alone the team that, you know, where I live. And so it was crazy, man. All these years of again, the dog days of the Nuggets to,
and that's
to
it.
now
Like,
is just fucking awesome.
I'm an Avalanche fan. I consider myself like a big Avalanche fan, right? I wouldn't make it a point to get down to the game last year. I would have went if it was free, but
Yeah.
you know, I think with the Avalanche, it's different than with the Nuggets, though, bro, because the Avalanche, like, we're talking about, they got here in 95, 96.
Yeah.
We won the cup right away.
Yep.
Then we won the cup a few years later. Like, we didn't grow up with, like, sorrow and, like, fucking
Trials and
being bounced. You know what I mean? Like,
It's like if I mean, even though I'm not a Rockies, like a huge Rockies fan, like if the Rockies won the series,
it'd be awesome.
it'll be fucking crazy.
Yes, but with the Nuggets, man, there was 47 years of history in this city, bro.
for sure.
Like I remember growing up watching the Nuggets play ball, man. Like I told you this last episode is, you know, Denver Nuggets are probably my favorite Colorado team over all of them, over every sport. And you know, to have them win, man. I think back to, you know, seeing Anthony Carter out there for the Heat, and then thinking back to how we blew a chance in 08, thinking back to just, you know, Dikembe Mutombo and them boys being an 8 seed and making it through, and then just on the cusp of something and getting bounced in Game 7. You know, it's one of those things, bro, where, you know, there's a lot of lows here. 11 wins, 17 wins. You know, there's, you know, people leaving here, Melo leaving, you know, players not wanting to come here. This is a flyover city. This is a cow town. Like, there's a lot of that shit, man. And so to have that trophy presented to the Denver Nuggets as the NBA Finals champions, dude, it doesn't get any sweeter than that for basketball and Denver basketball, man. And it's the greatest night in Nuggets history. And we got to watch it unfold, and we got to see the Nuggets lift the trophy, and I can't wait, man. I'd love to say I'm excited to get another one next year, but just knowing how hard it is to do, you know what I mean? Like, think about the last 2 years prior to this one, like how hard those years were. You know, we were good teams, but just our health, you know.
But it's different now. Like, in all honesty, though, Coach said it, bro. Like, we're not satisfied with this one.
Yeah.
And for me, bro, the competitor that I am, the person that I am, I'm right there with them. Like, we're gonna love this, we're gonna celebrate this, but we're already on to the next, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to one of my coworkers. He's like, "You going to the parade?" I said, "Nah, I'd rather be in the, start preparing for next year.
No, that was
Let's
cool.
skip the parade and let's start preparing for next year."
That was cool when he was talking about like the evolution of a team, and you look to be good, and then you look to be a contender, then you look to be a champion, and then once you're a champion, you look to be a dynasty, and that shit gave me chills, bro.
And
When he
that's
said
what,
that,
and I feel like that's what we're doing. And what better way to have it, to do it with a guy like that, a supporting team like he has, and then an owner who does win.
dude, that's
Right? Kroenke has since
Yeah.
22, the Avalanche, the Mammoth, the Rams,
Yep.
and now the Nuggets,
Yeah.
bro. That dude he's winning.
Yep. And to do it with the way that they did it, with not firing Coach Malone a long time ago.
Yep.
And NBA coaches, I mean, look, Mike Budenholzer and Nick Nurse both just got fired this year, and they both have won championships in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And
Doggy dog world.
dude, it's wild, bro. And not to say that can't happen to Mike Malone, right? Because it absolutely can. It's just awesome to sit it out and trust the process, literally. And it culminate to this. Like it's a reward well earned. And, I'm excited. I see on your computer right there, I just saw you pull up Peyton Watson.
Yeah.
That's another one, man. That kid's 21 years old, and potentially can be okay. Maybe he's somebody that can replace Bruce Brown.
That's what I was just about to ask. Is what young player do you think we're gonna rely on a lot for next year? And he's one of the guys that I think next year we're gonna, definitely see an increase in his role for us.
He had some quality minutes at the end of the season while we were like nursing
did.
injuries and
He
stuff
did.
like that. Played well against Phoenix twice. He's definitely one of those guys. Him and Christian, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think him and Christian are the key.
For sure. I'm excited, man. But you mentioned what I have on my computer. I glanced over and see what you have as well, and we could get into it because a lot of people have been asking. I had to, go and get my hat first things first, and back in
It's
in
a
our
champ.
days, cursive was taught, and
Yeah.
then they stopped teaching it,
Yeah.
and you wonder if this lends any hand in that.
Is that champions or champions?
I actually did pull up my Snapchat, and there's a font on Snapchat that you type it in, and it's Champions.
Yeah.
It's just the font.
Yeah, that's what they were
However-
saying.
However, the way we were taught, it's not. So what I'm gonna do, because I do believe New Era is going to release another line of these with the changed font. Because perception is reality sometimes. I'm gonna take this hat off after tonight. I'm gonna put it away, and I'm not gonna wear it again because those type of things come back to be worth some bank.
That's exactly what I did, bro. That was exactly my thought process. I'm not tripping about the font.
Me neither.
Like, what I would get pissed off about is if you seen the New Era advertisements for the hats and stuff, and we obviously can't show this on the camera, but this is the advertisement hat that they're showing in all the pictures when you go. So like if I'm on Facebook, I've been getting this because I bought a shirt, I bought a hat, I bought a bunch of stuff online, but I get this popping up, and that hat picture that I'm showing you right now is the hat picture that they use as the advertisement. When you click on it, it's the hat that actually has the font. And so I would be pissed off about that. And there was a lot of questions raised by people at Dick's Sporting Goods, some of the customers, about that, because they're like, well, how come this one shows online, it shows this, and then when you actually click into it, it's not the one.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of talk and controversy. I called right away, just to see, you know what I mean? Because I actually didn't really take a quick look at it. I was so hyped up in the moment, and I was just grabbing it, and I was like, let's go. And then I was looking at it, and I was like, wait a minute. Something looks wrong. So I called the store right away, And they said they don't know what at this time. They didn't know if New Era was going to put out new hats, if you're going to be able to take your hat back, swap it out, what the case was going to be, or if all sales were final.
Right.
But they did know that they noticed it, and that New Era was in the process of talking about it and things like that. But when things like this happen, man, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise, because they had to make enough for the players,
That's right.
and then they probably made what,
A bunch to mass
a
out.
few thousand to pass out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Sell 10,000 probably, maybe.
I would
maybe
think more than that. I definitely think more than that. But there definitely was there's a limited run on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what freaking pissed me off is I ordered a hat for after the conference finals, and it was a dope ass navy hat with the red brim, and it had the NBA Finals patch on the side. And when it came down to them shipping it to me, they sent me a message like, "Oh, we had to cancel your order because we couldn't fulfill your order." So now I ordered me one, and I'm hoping we right with this one. But I ordered me the same hat, but this time it has the NBA Finals patch on the side of it. So,
Oh, that's dope.
or NBA champion, it says Finals champion. Okay. So I'm hoping that comes through. I ordered me. Have you seen these shirts on NBA store? I think it's like by Fanatics. They got remember the old school big head shirts? Mm-hmm. So like when you had the championship team, they'd have like the players on there with the big old giant heads. Mm-hmm. They have one with the Nuggets, bro, and it has like all 5 starting Nuggets on there and their big ass head. And it says NBA champs. So I ordered one of those too. I'm pretty stoked about that.
That's tight. You parading it up?
I'm gonna do the right thing, and I'm gonna work tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, I would too if I got hooked up like you got hooked up.
Had I not went to the game on Monday, I would be like, yo, I'm going to the parade. But I think having experienced what I did on Monday, and I don't really care to be with that big ass crowd like that.
Yeah, me neither.
Because Avalanche had 500,000 last year, and there's some people saying that it's going to be bigger than that. And just getting in and out of Denver with all that, dude, I'm kind of cool, and I'll go get my bag, and I'll upload this footage to YouTube so everyone can see it. But I'm gonna keep those memories I have of Monday night, bro, and I'm gonna always have those forever. So it's not disappointing to not go to the parade.
Did you get a towel, or what was on your seat?
Yeah, it got one of those
rally towels.
The rally towels. I got that
Nice.
hanging up at work with my hat.
Nice.
And then I got me a little pennant that I'm gonna hang up at work too.
Nice.
NBA champion pennant.
Well, for all of our listeners, if you're out there at the parade, make sure you're safe. Cheer on the Nuggets for us over here at DNA. I will be at work as well. Pre-rally starts at 9 a.m. at Civic Center Park. Parade to follow at 10 a.m. to Union Station. Again, be safe. Get a nice, good spot. Go Nuggets, cheer them on, and then we're on to the next, guys. Celebrate today, and tomorrow we're off to get in the next championship, because that's what we're here for, is to continuously win, and I think we're built for that as well.
And to echo what you said, don't be out there doing no dumb shit.
Yeah,
please, man. Don't give us a bad look. Don't ruin, what the Nuggets did, and don't ruin the trust in being able to be out in public with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be doing stupid shit. And I know that situation with the shooting was a drug deal. And, it was after midnight. And you know what they say, and nothing good happens after midnight. But that being said, there's going to be some liquored up folks downtown. There's going to be a lot of people. Please be safe, be smart. Your actions have consequences, not just for yourself, but for others as well. So please do the right thing.
Do you see any unexpected moves from the Nuggets roster? Because, again, championship teams often get plucked.
You know what scares me, dude? Is it doesn't sound like Jokic really cares to play for a very long time.
Or you worry that he just eventually is going to just one day just up and retire?
Yeah, dude.
He is that kind of guy where it's
Dude.
like he's nonchalant about things.
Dude, he just doesn't care, bro. Like, he loves it, like, but it's not his love. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a scary kind of situation, because at any point he could just be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm gonna go race more horses and live in my country, my family, and I've lived a good life and had a good, had a good impact, dude. That scares me.
Shout out to his family, man. Did you see the Jokic brothers tossing up coach? They're over there throwing him up like he's a little old kid,
Them
bro.
some
That was
big
hilarious.
motherfuckers, dude. Them were some big boys,
And then
dude.
Jokic threw Murray in the pool.
Yes.
Bro, that's dope, bro, to watch. And then I don't know if you've seen the picture on Facebook where it shows like Jordan in the locker room, LeBron,
Yes.
and Kobe,
And
like, after
Jokic is just
winning.
sitting there sipping a beer like,
Yeah, and they're all crying,
Yeah.
like emotionally drained because they just won the championship,
Yeah.
and Jokic is just drinking like it's nothing.
he
It's
had.
just
I didn't
another
see
day.
I didn't see any tears from him.
Bro, because like
I didn't see any tears of joy.
I mean, and I think he's a humble dude, bro. That is, it's just about playing the game, bro. It's not about the awards, and I think he's one player that when he says that, I truly,
Yeah, he means it. It's genuine.
feel that that's what he means, bro. He's just out there having fun with his friends,
Yep.
and he said it like, there's friendships that they all built that they're gonna remember far past their careers.
He doesn't care about the individual accolades. I think he really cherished winning the title, and he kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I think he really cherished winning the title with the fellas that he won the title with. Not necessarily that he won the title, but that he won it with the fellas he won it with, if that makes sense. And I think that's awesome, man. I think that's what makes him special. That's what makes him unlike any of these other dudes. It makes him more Tim Duncan than Tim Duncan is. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to win championships and just, enjoy a good life and be with your family, go to your pool and race your horses, dude. Like, people are too fucking complex these days, man. And it's just great to have someone that's just super chill and does right by it.
Yeah. Question for you.
Yo.
Are the Nuggets better prepared, more likely to repeat than the last 5 NBA champions? And
So
I could
running
I
backwards,
could read that off.
I got you. Running backwards, you got Golden State.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then
Bucks,
the Bucks, the Lakers, the Raptors, and then Golden State again, right?
Yeah.
Are they better equipped now to make a back-to-back run? Is that what you're asking?
And I guess what I'll say to that as well. So I said the last 5, right? And that 5th one was Golden State in 2018. Just a caveat for everybody. They also won it in 2017. So 2018, they were coming off of a back-to-back year. So,
Yeah, 2018 was the last year with KD.
yeah, so that would have been a three-peat for them. So
Yeah, that's when KD got hurt in the playoffs in 19, and that's
so realistically, the Nuggets are more prepared than that team to repeat, in my opinion, because like to win a three-peat, it's a lot. And again, they were coming off of a year where they were going to lose KD and a couple other pieces.
Well, they didn't that next year. So that next year, they had a pretty decent year, and they lost to the finals against Toronto. But that's when they lost Clay, and that's when they lost KD. So they were pretty equipped to go three-peat. So I'd say not, and that should be the cautionary tale, right? But I would say we're not as prepared as that team. Toronto definitely, yeah, because they lost Kawhi Leonard that following year.
Bubble Lakers.
The bubble Lakers, yes, because their stupid asses wanted to go get freaking Russell Westbrook instead of try to work what they had with a good core, Kuzma and everybody else, right? So yeah, I think they're better equipped than that team. The Bucks, they stand out to me because they could have won the title, the next year. They were good.
And realistically, if Giannis doesn't get hurt this year,
Yep.
they could have been, competing out of the East this year too. So
Yep.
that could have been 3 years in a row where they could have been in the ship.
And then Golden State last year into this year, they were pretty good this year, but they just couldn't be healthy. They couldn't stay healthy. So there's another cautionary tale. So it's just so scary because look at the Avalanche, bro. Everyone thought the Avalanche were going to go repeat this year because they had a great core. They lose a key guy to free agency. They lose a couple other guys. A couple other guys get hurt during the season and don't make it back. And all of a sudden, you got a first-round exit. So, like, the difference is so small, bro, that it can change in a matter of just 1 or 2 weeks based off of someone's health, man. So I would say we're well equipped based off of the reasons we said earlier in terms of the age of this core and the up and coming abilities of Peyton Watson and Christian Braun.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. In the last 10 years, the Western Conference has won 7 of the 10 championships.
How about this wild one, bro? The Nuggets are the first team in the Western Conference since like 1979 to win the NBA title and not be from California or Texas.
Wow.
It was the Seattle Supersonic that won it that year. Every Western Conference team that's won a final since then was either from Texas or California. If you think about the Lakers in the 80s, right? Think about Golden State Warriors of the late 2000s.
Yep.
You think about the Dallas Mavericks and their run.
Yep.
You think about the Houston Rockets and they got the sandwiched back-to-back championships, in between the Bulls.
Oh, you're right. I'm looking at the list right here, dude, and that's crazy.
Yeah. When I saw that stat, I was like, wow, that's nuts. Yet another reason why this year was just so damn spectacular, bro,
Yeah.
because it used to always say you couldn't do it in this market, man, and we did.
Also looking at this list, what kind of pisses me off is, you're going to have the people out there that say, oh, the Lakers and the Celtics would have been a better game and would have got more readings because that would have been a better story in
Chasing 19 or chasing 18.
Well, yeah, who's going to get the more,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who's going to have more titles and who's going to have more
It would have been
appearances?
if they would have made it, but they didn't.
Should've.
Right?
Yeah, woulda,
Handle
coulda,
your
shoulda.
business. You can't
They
be a number
didn't.
2 seed and have home court advantage and not win it. And you can't be, thinking you're the best thing since sliced bread since the All-Star break and then get swept on your home floor, dog. Like, sorry.
And we're-
Sorry, cuz.
And we're the champs, baby. So,
We the champions,
take
baby.
it how you want to take it.
Dude, I don't care. Cry me a river. Go bring up Justin to sing that shit because you know what? 2023 NBA Finals champs will always be the Nuggets.
Man,
Bro,
you think Jokic plays in the Olympics?
no, I don't think he gives a shit. Maybe because that's for his country and he does
Do you
care about his
think?
country.
Do you think Murray?
Shit, Canada needs all the help they can get. I think we just.
But let's talk about though, like Kawhi. Is he from Canada? He just
don't
played
think
for
so.
Canada. Never mind.
No, he just played for Toronto.
Never mind.
They don't got a great squad.
They don't
They
have a
got
great
some squad, but Dom,
U.S. is dominant.
bro, we should probably hop up out of here.
We should
We're
have.
working on an hour already.
We should.
But
we were
literally-
supposed to just come together, talk about the Nuggets, but
How exciting is it, dude? Like you can talk for hours about this shit, bro, and just about start bringing up just what the great thing is, man, is like you got that one, and now like it's a possibility.
oh yeah, after the first one, it's all about getting the next, but it feels like you got a little taste of the pedigree.
You did.
Of what it takes to get there.
Yep.
You got
You got the recipe.
the monkey off your back.
Yep.
And now you're ready to just play and have fun and compete. So shout out to the Nuggets, shout out to the staff, shout out to everybody who has a play in the success that was this year and the championship. The history. Shout out to all the fans out there who have been through the dog years like we speak of and remember what it's like to to be getting swept in the Western Conference Finals and not making it to the finals. This is our year. This is our time. Celebrate it, enjoy it, and we're on to the next. Shout out to the Nuggets, baby.
Everybody have a safe afternoon, morning, tomorrow at the parade. Make sure you keep each other safe. Be smart. Have fun. Go Nuggets. Go Nuggets. 2023 Finals champions. Man, who would have thought? We out of here.